Hello everyone, with you Andrew Krivulya Charlie, and welcome to the first episode of my making of this hairstyle. Please, if you want to support this channel, watch the video until the end, because there is important information about this. So, first I want to tell you about the project in Maya. So, this is the first variation of the hairstyle I created specifically for the first character. Let's start with the baby hair. In this area, the client has asked me to shave the hair, and this is the first order where such a change is required, as I usually leave it behind. Right now, I want to show you, in one of the intermediate versions, what the hair on the back of the head looked like. Yes, of course there is still a lot of work to be done here, but you can see how they looked when they were trimmed in the next variation. So, I will show you the area I left untouched. Here's what the guides look like, all drawn by hand based on my analysis of the reference using the Draw Strands tool. When rendered, they look like the following. Then, let's discuss the object with the main hair. For easy handling and combing, I've divided all guides into groups in this object. After watching a few episodes of Grooming for Commander, I'm sure you'll understand why I do this. I placed all the endpoints of the guides under the knot that appears as a guide during grooming, make it easy to control their intersections. Checking the intersection with a specific knot becomes very useful when we are already working with hair. So, I usually set the guides to the size for final inspection and control of the intersections. Now have a look at these objects' modifiers. The hair from guides modifier is set to value 200,000 hairs. Then I made some edits to the temples and back using an adjustment layer with edit guides. After that, I apply the clump modifier with the specific settings to create clumps along the guides. Next is the Generate Strand Data modifier, which I use to get the groups for the next Edit Guides modifier from the Clump modifier. Then, the Subclump modifier is applied with certain settings for additional processing of the clump within the Clump modifier. Next is the Generate Strand Data modifier, which receives groups from the Subclump modifier. The next modifier is the Edit Guides modifier, with which I did some adjustments to some parts of the form. Next comes the Freeze modifier, followed by another step of editing the guides with the adjustment layer, and then another freeze to create an effect on the roots of the hair. After that comes another adjustment layer with the Edit Guides modifier, and to be honest, I can't remember what changes I made to it. Next, I use the Generate Strand Data modifier to color the hair in various layers, strands and other elements. Above is the Edit Guides modifier, where I created a custom hair color. Eventually, we decided to abandon this custom coloring, because Runatrix at the time had a bug that randomly colored hair red and green, and it was difficult to fix. This meant that you had to keep repainting your hair to correct the error, but each time you corrected it, it will be repaired in a different place. I also used the Change Width modifier with settings specifically designed for exporting to the Unreal Engine. The next modifier is the Generate Strand Data modifier, which plays an important role when exporting to Unreal Engine. as it provides the necessary data for the hair to be displayed correctly in the game engine. This is the main part of the hairstyle. Now, let's discuss the rest of the components I designed for it. To create the ponytail, I used a special mesh to which I attached it. I used 100,000 hairs in the Hair from Guides modifier. Then, I applied the length modifier to correct and vary the length of the hair. Next, the clump modifier is applied to guides with specific settings. Then, to get the necessary groups for the guides to edit, I applied the Generate Trend Data modifier. Next is the Edit Guides modifier, which I used to make minor edits. Next comes the Subclump modifier, and then immediately the Generate Trend Data modifier to get the necessary groups. Then I apply another length modifier to randomize the length of the hair, and also some freeze modifiers to give the hair a bit of chaos and realism. Next, another Generate Trend Data modifier is applied to dye hair in random colors using random mode. Then follow the Edit Guides modifier with the paint layer on which I have drawn the specified color for the hair. Now, I am going to tell you how you can color your hair with this method. First, we use the Generate Trend Data modifier to create random groups for different guides. Choose the number of groups from 1 to 5, as this will be enough, and you can color these groups to create melting or other interesting effects. That's all I wanted to show in this series, more to come. If you liked this video, don't forget to write about it in the comments, put a like and subscribe to the channel, and please watch this video until the end. Friends, if you need quality 3D hairstyle references, go to 3D.sk website. The site has two categories: Groom 3D scans and Groom photos. There aren't many scans on the site, but there are enough hair photos to start making something for a character already. Just a reminder that you can become a channel sponsor and get a voiceover in another language, a collection of my references, and 100% discount on all my assets. Just click the join button to do it. If this is your first time on this channel, then here you can learn all the tricks and secrets of 3D grooming in Ornatrix. Also, get your questions answered and get inspired by reference from the games. Subscribe and write in the comments how long you do 3D and why you chose this field. What influenced this? If you like what I do, I will be very grateful for any donation to Donatello at the link in the description and channel header, buying my models on CG Trader or ArtStation, as well as the purchase of any of the plugins in an attached commentary. What's in it for you? It's very simple. If enough money is collected per month, I will be able to devote my full time to creating lessons for you. That is not 3 hours a day, which, as you have already noticed, not enough for the fast release of new episodes. Also, don't forget to check out the YouTube community, as I share there all kind of news, uploading answers to questions, talking about the time spent on lessons, and so on. And of course, don't forget about my Instagram, where I upload all my work and work in progress.